2025 has been a better year for gaming than you all give it credit for. Now, I agree, it hasn't been all that sweet to see AI adopted so freely and without fear of consequence by some of the biggest companies out there. However, many of these companies were already controversial. Just another strike against them and not the industry itself. And sure, we were graciously gifted possibly one of the worst video games in recent history from a studio headed by the least PR-trained ex-Rockstar employee, but did we not also see one of the best? A game with the highest user Metacritic score of all time. A game that scored 13 nominations and 9 wins at the Game Awards last year. A game with the third most Game of the Year wins ever. For every bad headline, there were 5 good ones. One of the 5 was AI generated, but look, as rife with controversy as it was, last year allowed us to escape the noise and bury ourselves in some of the best this rapidly growing industry has to offer. So with all that in mind, here are a Waffle's top 10 games of 2025. Ghost of Yote being anywhere near this list might be a surprise to those who didn't catch my video. Despite being pretty favorably reviewed and the sequel to what was a cultural phenomenon at the time, it flew disappointingly under the radar. Perhaps it was open world fatigue or a collective lament for Jin Sakai's absence. I found myself pretty apathetic to these complaints, so I kept an open mind. And I really liked it. The Western lover in me was a sucker for the soundtrack, and I much preferred the quiet grit of the prologue. From minute 1, I was locked in. While it was very, very much another open world game, it played to me like the closest you could get to innovation without hopping genres. The combat was good, the Japanese voice acting was phenomenal, the environments were pristine, and it performed just as well as I'd hoped it would. It was not a masterpiece. These tropey games rarely are. But I would have put Ghost of Tsushima on my list for 2020, and I liked this one better. I don't know about you, but Absalom took me by storm. I played it for my channel so I'd have a video that week. I did not expect to love it as much as I did. And well, it's 9th on the list, what more can I say? A good beat 'em up and a good roguelite encased in an amber of the best art direction this year. There is some fucking amazing music from Mick Gordon, that's self-explanatory, and Yuka Kitamura, that's Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, Elden Ring, need I say more? I even found myself invested in the characters and the story that binds them, a real feat for a game I didn't care about beforehand. In all honesty, this should be higher on the list, but I really don't like beat 'em ups. The fact that it made it here is testament to its craft. Routine took 1,000,001 years to come out. It was announced in 2012. I wasn't even conscious back then. I was 9. I'm not one to rush art, and I'm glad no one did. After many changes in direction and a heap of delays, it became one of my favorite classic-style horror games, even innovating on a genre so saturated with the worst of the worst. The atmosphere is what sold me, an unbending commitment to a specific aesthetic, supergluing everything together. The sound, the voice acting, its narrative, and the way it unfolds, addicting to say the least. I cannot forget how it made me laugh. A chilling horror game with an appropriate and measured sense of humor is a trip, and a welcome one. Routine is a pretty small game, but it's deceptively good and it deserves to be remembered. Ball Pit is a manipulative little game that knows exactly how to twist our fragile minds. The catch is that instead of taking all of our money, there's a small asking price up front and then an actual bloody game behind it. Every single fake mobile game ad I've mindlessly consumed has led to this moment, where I finally get to play what I've been promised, and it's a crime nobody has done it sooner. I had my little city builder that allowed me to make cute little layouts for all my little guys in Balbalon, and then I had my roguelite slop, but in Brick Breaker format to drool over. My god, it was something else. I've certainly played other games in this genre for far longer, but Ball Pit's lack of longevity is outshined by the fact that I'd inject it into my balls if I could. I pretty much ignored Dispatch until I saw other people liked it and needed to shamelessly bandwagon its praise, but then I really liked it. 2025 has been a great year for art direction, and this is no exception. It looks beautiful. I also saw all the voice cast cameos and thought it'd be a little, but not only did Aaron Paul and Jeffrey Wright make me eat my words, every single cameo fit the vibe too. Dialogue this good is a rarity. I could watch paint dry with the Z team and I think it'd be entertaining. I can admit it was a little lackluster in the choices matter department, but I guess I signed up for a good story more than anything else, so control over the specific flavor of this twinky little white boy was more than enough for me. I think I speak for all of us when I say we need a season 2 ASAP. Now this is where we cross over to all the games released before I started this channel. It's a shame the year front-loaded all of its best potential content, but we move. Blueprints is perhaps one of the best and worst games I've ever played. It's surely the best puzzle game and one of the most engaging and innovative roguelites I could never probably dream up. I have an entire booklet left over with notes and ramblings that'd look insane to anyone else. I mean, I felt like I was really uncovering a mystery. For a long time, it was a revelation of a game. I did not know games could be this good. But for all its praise, I didn't truly finish it. The RNG is the lifeblood of this game and the unfortunate draining of it. No game should let you spend 6+ hours trying to do a single crucial thing. Having manipulated every bit of the randomness, I did just that, and I still didn't draft the room I needed to continue exploring a mystery I became wholly uninterested in by that point. But despite this, I can't see myself putting it any lower on the list, and it has to be on the list. Up until the moment I got frustrated, I would have put this game in my top 10 of all time. Night Rain is an interesting one. This game misunderstands everything that makes roguelites so engaging. It has no endless mode, no real live service plans, not nearly enough throwback content, and is just an amalgamation of asset reuse, yet it is the most fun I've had in a long ass time. It's almost frustrating that this isn't a fully fleshed out title because it definitely could have been the best game this year. I'm more than happy with what we got though. The soundtrack has waylaid all my other picks for best soundtrack, shy for one, and has some of the best boss tracks in From Software history. Each Nightfarer puts a unique and thoughtful spin on the format and has made Elden Ring feel slow and clunky in comparison. The real draw is the condensed Souls-like experience. Each run is like a little baby Souls game. You explore the world, fight some bosses, fight some big bosses, and then fight the super big boss, all while crafting your preferred build along the way. I really hope they continue with this format somehow, or at the very least, don't abandon this game. From Software can inject Night Rain into my night veins. I'm on my knees for it, and I'm not ashamed. If Escape from Tarkov is whips, candle wax, and knife play, then Arc Raiders is a loving embrace and praise. It is the soft dom of extraction shooters, and I guess it's obvious which one of the two I prefer. Finally, an extraction shooter with QOL and a game that mostly respects your time. I've been pretty cracked out on this thing since it released, and if I didn't make these videos, I'd be playing it more. I absolutely adore the cassette futurism aesthetic and the goofiness and NASA punk of rebels from Star Wars with louder colors. The procedural movement animation of the Ark that make them feel like real functioning robots promises a level of detail that they deliver on every single time. Since this is an ongoing game and it'll be unrecognizable in a few years' time, I'm still planning on a longer video, so I won't delve too deep into any praise or criticism. But by God, get your hands on this game if you want to know what Escape from Tarkov was better than.
Henry, our hero Henry, the fellow who helps his fellow man. Henry, reliable Henry, he gets the job done the best he can.
The reception Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was met with is criminal. Not because it was bad, but because it was not good enough. This is among the best of the best when it comes to immersive sim games and RPGs. There is a meticulous inclusion of detail you'd only expect from a studio like Rockstar. Almost every action has a real and entertaining reaction. The urge to experiment has never been rewarded like it has here. The commitment to historical authenticity impressed me at every single turn. The subject matter was heavy, but the game allowed itself to be jovial in such dark times. It's refreshing to see such a colorful and well-directed cast of characters in a time that is often depicted as the brownest of brown and the greyest of grey. But the crispy, semi-frozen water at 3 AM type of refreshment came from how well optimized it was. In an era where every game needs DLSS 7.9 to run at a clean 24 frames per second, KCD2 blew me away. I remember dreading the moment I got to Kuttenberg, the big city, because I just knew it would run like fucking dog shit. I couldn't count how many times a game has front-loaded all of its best optimized content and manipulated me into dealing with the worst because I've already come so far. But when I sauntered through the gates of Kuttenberg for the first time, it performed better. My FPS got higher. That moment alone was enough for a place on this list. The rest was a whole heap of cherries on top. I don't like JRPGs. Everything down to the aesthetic is beyond me. I can't imagine enjoying them, and I never have. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 hasn't changed that, but a game transcending its audience is rare. For it to be an all-timer in the minds of those who hate its genre is almost unheard of. I know I'm not alone in this. Expedition 33 is not a perfect game, by any means, but there is perfection within it. The soundtrack is once in a red, yellow, and blue moon occurrence. There are songs here that will be hummed and sung by those who have never even played the game. It sounds like I'm being super fucking overdramatic, but music is a passion of mine, as is gaming, and to hear the two combined in such a flourish is worth it all. I don't remember the last time I truly didn't see something coming in a video game. I like to say a predictable narrative does not make a bad one, but it's nice to be surprised. This was a really nice surprise. The web they spin and characters they unravel is masterful for a debut game. The French love their ambiguity, and this story is a conflicting one, all the more worth experiencing for the obsessively long arguments I had over the endings. It looked fantastic, incredible art design, it played great, increased autonomy in turn-based combat was pretty addicting, even if it wasn't perfect. Daredevil is one of the best TV shows of all time, and he was in this game, which makes this game cooler. I don't know, man, it was the perfect storm of human expression. Its imperfections only enhance the miracle of its art and the prodigy of this studio. I know it seems like a snub for it to snag almost every award it was nominated for, and I agree, there are some amazing games that deserve to come away with more than the nothing they got. But it deserved these awards, and both things can be true at once. So let's lament that these games fell to the wayside without tearing down the one at the top. Tall poppy syndrome is a pretty big thing here in Australia, and it's never ended well for anyone. I think Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 should have won Best RPG though. Hey, if you're still with me, I'm James. If you enjoyed the video, please consider dropping a sub. I promise I am in it for the long run. Thanks!